Ah, uh, uh,
Um,
I'm gonna pat my belly. Ah, that's better.
okay.
I got. It's almost believable that I need my belly to be patted like at certain times during the day. Otherwise, I get like really ill. It's like, oh, it's time for Simon's belly pat. Can you imagine that? We're in a pub somewhere, and it's time for my belly patting, and I have to lie down on the floor in the busy bar, and you have to just pat my belly for me.
Oh my god, I cannot wait for this day. I cannot wait for this day.
You have to explain to people, oh, it's all right. It won't take long. I've just got to pat his
It's
belly.
alright. It won't take long. I like the way that's the first thing you explain to them. Like, sorry, we're taking up your valuable time here, not like trying to explain, anything like why you have to do it. You know, there's no embarrassment there.
No, it's like, you have to be matter of fact about these things. Simon, he just needs his belly patting. Just hang on, hang on. There we go.
Hello and welcome to
YoGPoD.
Hello, this is the YoGPoD. Honeydew's about to tell us of the time he got electrocuted. I've been electrocuted, but you can go first.
Okay, so I was at a pal's house.
Who?
Um, he's called James. Actually, it's a different James to the other James I've mentioned.
Okay. Are all your friends called James?
Yes, yes. Except, well,
Because
there's Jimmy and Jimbo and Jim Bob.
we were born in a time when there were a lot of Jameses. I remember there were at least 4 Jameses in my class when I was at school.
When I was born,
Mm.
I was actually called James, but I had
Right.
to change my name by default
Okay.
to Simon. Okay, I was at a friend's house, and it was a really old building in the countryside. It's like hundreds of years old. Electricity was put in like the 50s, and it hadn't been updated since then. So it's got really shitty wiring in a really old house that wasn't built to have wiring in it. And it was the middle of the night. We were sat around. We might have taken some substances that affect how your mind works, let's just say.
Oh gosh,
Uh,
how old were you? I was thinking you were about
I don't
13.
know. No, no, no. I was in my 20s, certainly. Early 20s, probably,
God.
at some
So
point.
you're about my age.
You're not in your
So
early
you're-
20s, are you? You're in your mid 20s.
Shut up.
So, at this pal's house, might have smoked something.
Was it just you and
So,
him smoking weed?
no, no, there was quite a few people. We'd had bacon sandwiches and stuff after going to the pub, and
Right.
we had a few more drinks and a smoke. We were sitting around in a very bright kitchen, but
Satting around.
ele- yeah, sitting around. The electricity wasn't
Why
working in
do
in a lot
people
of the rest of the
always
house.
sit in kitchens at parties? Have you noticed how people always tend to like stand around in the kitchen?
It's the cool place to be. It's
It's just
where
it's where
like the
the drinks
beer's
are.
kept.
So like people just sort of follow
Exactly.
other people there.
So there was a problem with the electricity and the lighting in some rooms of the house that hadn't been fixed. And I wander off on my own to find the toilet, and I was a little bit unfamiliar with this house, and I'm wandering around in the dark upstairs trying to find the loo. Um, and it was a really spooky room because it had like stuffed animals in it, and it was dark, and you could just see like the outlines of a stuffed beaver and stuff,
Right.
with its little
So
eyes
okay.
kind of
So
staring at
let me
you.
set the scene. It's about midnight. or probably about 1 in the
Probably
morning.
about 2 or something
Probably
in the
about 2
morning.
in the morning. You come back from the pub with James and some of your mates. No attractive girls there, obviously. You're standing around, satting around in the kitchen, smoking a joint. You're getting
Sat around.
you need to have a pee, so you head upstairs in the dark, fumbling around. You're a bit paranoid because of the weed and the alcohol, and you're a bit tired, and you're a bit sort of. You've obviously it's been quite a distance to get up the sort of rickety old stairs at this old house to the bathroom. You're not quite sure where you are. You've stumbled into
Yeah.
some room with some stuffed animals in it.
The
Okay.
floorboards creak. The stuffed animals staring at
You
me.
can no longer see or hear the sounds of your friends at the kitchen.
Exactly. It was
The
it was just
wind
dark and
whistles
silent,
under the
and
door.
I'm like walking through this room seemed just so long. It just seemed to go on forever, and it was a bit. I was almost tripping over some old rugs that were lying down on the
You were
floorboards.
tripping.
I was tripping. There were these weird stuffed animals just fucking everywhere, like on the walls. It was weird,
Nailed to the
and
walls.
I can see like an outline ahead of me, a rectangular outline that seems darker than the rest of the darkness around me. And I can see, that's clearly a room, and that's probably the toilet. So I'm heading towards that pitch black outline ahead of me, and I reach it, and it's now very, very, very dark. I can't see fucking anything at all, and I've got like a hand on the door frame, and I'm trying to find the light switch. Okay, we're coming
Of course,
close to
this is
the moment.
before the days of mobile phones, when people would just use their mobile phone as like a flashlight. Obviously,
Oh yeah, yeah,
your mobile
yeah. That
phone
would
was
have been a
probably about the
brilliant
size of a
idea.
small suitcase back then.
No, that was the battery. The battery was the suitcase.
Oh,
And you had to
sorry.
carry that around with the phone. So I've got my hand on the door frame, and I'm fumbling, trying to find where the light switch is, because I'm assuming that it's outside of the toilet. So I'm looking for this light switch, and suddenly somebody grasps my hand in the darkness
Dun
and
dun
puts their
dun!
hand. Someone puts their hand tightly around my fingers, and they're gripping on really hard, and I'm struggling to get my hand away, but I can't. They've got it gripped really tight, and I'm panicking. I'm not saying anything. I'm just too scared to say a word. I don't know who this is, who's got me gripped in this. It's just so weird and scary. And I managed to wrestle my hand away,
Right,
and
right,
I'm wildly
right.
looking around and not really reacting. I'm sweating and I'm clammy. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I managed to find where the light switch is, and I flick it on, and I see outside, next to the door frame, a hole in the wall with wires coming out of it. That was what had gripped my hand. I put my hand into this hole, touching the bare wires that electrocuted me, and it felt like someone was holding me.
That's terrifying, Simon.
Isn't that horrible?
That's terrifying. Oh my god. I've got a much better story than that.
Have you?
Not quite as nightmarishly terrifying though. Bloody hell. This was when I was about 20, living in a student house. We had one bathroom that was downstairs, and the light bulb went in it.
It's always the fucking bathroom, isn't it? It's
And the light
always the
bulb.
bathroom.
Right? So the light bulb had gone in it. So obviously, like students, we just sort of didn't do anything about it. We replaced the light bulb, but it didn't make any difference. So we went for about 2 weeks having like candles in there. So like you're taking a dump by candlelight. It's kind of pretty weird and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's so romantic.
That's pretty weird. Anyway, it came time
Your
to sort
girlfriend's there, holding your hand as you're taking a shit.
of came
She's
time
like
to like
sat in the
mend it.
bath. She sat in the bath with like
Stop.
all these oils and this
It wasn't that
foam, and
big.
she's
It didn't
holding
have a
your
bath.
hand.
It didn't have a bath. This is just shower. She'd be standing in the shower, holding my hand.
Standing in the shower, holding your hand whilst you're on the toilet having a dump.
Anyway, because we didn't have a lock on our bathroom door either, because previously we'd managed to lock the bathroom door from the other side and couldn't get in. it was really weird how we managed to do it because it was like a I don't know how we did it in fact, but it was locked and we couldn't get in, so we had to like bash the door down. So the door was kind of slightly off its hinges anyway. The
So
problem
you've
is,
got a shared bathroom in a student house. It's always candlelit with
yeah,
no lock on the door. That is
yeah,
so
but the
weird.
door was kind of slightly off its hinges, so you just had to like lift the door back into position when you went in the bathroom.
Jesus Christ. Wouldn't it be easier just to go into the back garden and take a shit? Like on the lawn or something?
Anyway, we went in the bathroom, took the door off its hinges, got like a stool from the kitchen, and I was like fiddling around with the light fixture. Obviously, because the light had been turned on and off at switch so many times, we weren't quite sure whether the light bulb was on or off. So when I was fiddling with the electrics, I thought, it'd be dangerous to have it on, so we want to make sure it's off. So we looked at the other light switches in the house to see which way is off. Obviously, because that's how it works, isn't it? So we switched it to the off setting. I was fiddling around with the wires, and I realised one of the wires had come loose. So I reconnected it, and got a massive jolt of mains electricity, whatever it is, 240 volts. Got blown off the stool I was standing on, like crashed into the door and fell onto the floor.
Holy shit.
And I like passed out. But it was a weird sensation because I've been electrocuted a few times in my life. Like one time when we were on Duke of Edinburgh, I was climbing over an electric fence, and I didn't realise it was an electric fence because I touched it, right, and it wasn't electric. It didn't electrocute me, so I was like, oh, that's fine. So I touched it again. I was like, oh, it can't be electric. So I started climbing over it. But electric fences don't have continuous electricity; they have pulsing. So they only pulse like once every
Yeah.
second or something. So if you just touch it and let it go, it won't electrocute you. So I got about halfway over the fence, and suddenly I felt this massive jolt of electricity in my like leg, and then like
Oh God.
completely
Wouldn't it be horrible if
spasmed.
your balls were like touching it and it shocked you in the balls?
Well, it was my
Oh.
upper leg, and I got one in the upper leg, like one on my arm, one on my hand as I like pushed myself off it. Oh, it was awful. But the thing is, every time that happens, I sort of felt my heart
Oh my
like the
God.
pain in my heart a little bit, and it was the same thing I felt when I got blown off the chair when I was fucking with my bathroom light fixture.
I've had the same sensation as well on 9/11. My heart felt like it stopped. I felt such pain in my heart, Lewis. Such pain.
Well, there is a sort of phenomenon, isn't there, when something really like you see something really shocking, or or something happens really quick, or you get shocked, your heart does like suddenly pound in your chest, doesn't it? It's that sort of reaction. But I think it was more to do with electricity, the thing I felt. But it might not be. It
Yeah.
might have just been
Yeah.
the awareness of me that I'd just been electrocuted and that shock rather than
You should
electric
have been
shock.
stoned at the time when you were electrocuted, because I mean, I wasn't affected by it at all. I was just so sedated at the time that it had no effect on me whatsoever. Or did it?
It hits you pretty hard.
Maybe I was normal
mains electricity
before.
hits you bloody hard.
Well, it's an old house, so it might not have been the strongest electricity. It might have been like really old electricity from the 1950s that just been humming around the house for 50 odd years.
The ghost of electricity, you mean? It's like
Yeah,
an electricity
the
ghost.
ghost of electricity.
Really
It
old
was weird though,
electricity.
because I did feel like I couldn't let go. It just gripped me. And sometimes apparently that's what it's like. You just can't let go. I guess because,
it fucks with your muscles, doesn't it? It causes them to spasm and stuff.
yeah. Mm.
I guess that's probably why I lost my. Well, I probably didn't get thrown off the chair. I think I just, in my shock and
Did you
fear.
shit yourself?
No, I
Did
didn't.
it, you know,
I did like black
that
out
would've been
for a
such
few
good
minutes,
story.
and I didn't
Did
realise
someone
where I was
find
at
you?
first.
And they're like, oh, Lewis,
All my friends
oh
were there
God,
with me.
what's
They just didn't
happened?
catch me when I fell off the chair. They were like observing my
They
progress.
laughed at you when you told them about it.
It's like that
They
same
had a
thing, like
chuckle.
with the electric fence. Like once I'd gone over the electric fence, I had to get back over that electric fence because the other three people I was on Duke of Edinburgh with had seen me like spasm, like like jerking over this fence, and they went, we're not coming over." I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
You should have said it's fine. Really, really, guys, it's fine. You know, as you're crying, and as it feels like you're having a heart attack. Heart's pounding
Have you ever
away.
been tasered?
No, I haven't been
I've been
tasered. Why
tasered.
would I have been tasered? Why have you been tasered? What
I've
were
been
you
tasered a
doing?
few times. One of my friends, he's Dave. He's got a taser and he's got like a kosh and all sorts of dangerous weapons.
Are you fucking kidding?
No.
What? You've got a mate called Dave who
Yeah.
has a taser,
Yeah, he
and he likes
tasered
to
me
shock
several
you with it.
times. Wow, it's really quite painful. He tasered me in the leg. My God, it hurt. And then he tasered me in the arm.
What?
I
Was
must
this like
admit,
in the
though,
pub or something?
I'll tell
It's
you
like,
what
hey
hurt the
guys, you never
most.
guess what I got.
I'll tell you what hurt the most.
You're like
though.
drinking your pint.
The actual tasering itself isn't so bad, but the thing is, a taser has these two like sharp barbs on it, and they like dig in.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what actually hurt, because he poked me with this fucking taser. The two sharp barbs like dug into my leg and like bruised me, and then he like hit the tase button, and I mean that was pretty bad, but it was like ow, those barbs like they kind of hurt afterwards as well.
What the fuck? You got a crazy friend who tasers you. Is he called Crazy Dave?
No, it's just called Dave.
Does he sell things out the back of
Everyone
his
knows
car?
someone called Dave, don't they? He's got very large speakers in the back of his car. He probably couldn't fit anything to sell in them. I recommend everyone should try it. What else have I had done to me? Have you been
What?
pepper sprayed before? I've been pepper sprayed.
No! What the fuck? Is this your friend Dave again?
No, I was on when I was in cadets, army cadets at school. What else?
So that you know the effects of it. It's like how if you're in the army you have to sit in a hut, tear gas going off.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things I did was I went on a camp called SAS camp, which stands for Special Air Service, and they're the kind of elite units of the British Army, and we were trained by some of them. And this camp was like pretty rare. I think it was once every couple of years, and it was very hard, notorious for being very tough. Anyway, and I was reading this article in like Telegraph recently. It was by this chap who was in Afghanistan. He was like a platoon commander or something. He was only about my age, 25 or something, and he'd recently died. And they published some of his pages from his journal. And he obviously hadn't been out there long. He'd been out there a couple of weeks, and they were talking about it was all sort of in army lingo with all acronyms and talking about certain types of things. And I recognised quite a lot of it from my time in cadets. And one of the things I recognised, there's two types of biscuits you get given as part of the rations when you're in army, if you're out on manoeuvres and things, and they're called biscuit brown and biscuit fruit. Okay,
Yes.
so biscuit brown is anal blockage, which basically means you don't shit, and biscuit fruit is laxative. And obviously, you can have a lot of fun with new people who don't know this. But that's I remember being on exercise and like just eating nothing but biscuit brown for a week, and then like coming back home and just
What the fuck?
sitting on the toilet for about an hour. Man, but it's just...
By candlelight. Oh man, why were you eating them for a week? I mean, what the fuck?
because we didn't have access to any toilets when we were out in the wild.
Well, for a week?
No, we were on exercise for a
Couldn't you
week.
just gone into like?
Well, it depends, doesn't it? I mean, we were out. If you know when you're coming back, you can usually stay. You can usually survive for a certain amount of days without taking a shit.
So I mean, that was. I mean, it's pretty odd that that's all you ate for a week. Did you not think of going to get some fish and chips or a nice curry from somewhere?
I did have some other stuff, but really not very much at all. Actually,
You could be a great leader of men one day, Lewis. You could be Prime Minister.
They were good times, when I was in cadets and stuff. Looking back at it, it was really good for me. But when I was actually doing it, it was the worst thing in the world.
It's made you the man that you are today.
Now, fuck me. Have I ever told you about the time I went LARPing? Because, oh my god, it was awful. It was awful. Have I ever told you
Did
about
you
this?
dress up?
Yeah, of course I did. I was I was Xephos,
I felt
the,
when
so-
I
the
when I saw
swordsman.
you like the other week, I felt like you were LARPing, being like an Essex boy twat.
It's...
Those sunglasses you had on, my God.
Dude, they're awesome. My Oakleys are awesome. Don't diss the Oakleys, man.
Oh dear. It was like Geordie LaForge's visor, but made into a pair of sunglasses.
They are great, those sunglasses. I've had them for like 3 years. They're great.
Okay, LARPing. Let's talk about your
Um,
LARPing.
Now, people who, I guess a lot of people don't know what LARPing is for a start, and a lot of people have misconceptions of what it is, and I didn't really know what to expect, okay, when I went LARPing. And I went with a couple of my friends that I met when I was at uni. So I went with them, because they were quite regular
What is
goers.
LARPing, Lewis?
You tell me what it is.
I've never heard of LARPing
You
before.
tell me.
LARPing is live action role playing. It's a bit like Dungeons and Dragons, but instead of sitting in someone's basement rolling dice, you're actually out in the wild, like in woods or somewhere outside, and you're dressed in character and you're acting in character the whole time.
Precisely. Now, everyone's seen
There you
this
go.
stuff on
And it's
TV and in
shit.
movies of like people doing it and being really, really embarrassing. Like nerds holding embarrassing swords and just being embarrassing.
Yeah, like wooden swords and shields, and oh, they're dressed up like they would be at like a comic con, some kind of like convention of fantasy stuff. They're
Now,
dressed up like someone out of that.
I feel that with my cadet army training, with doing all this stupid shit that I did when I was in sixth form and stuff, and when I paintballed quite a lot as well. So I'm not bad I'm not a bad shot. I'm not a bad I'm not bad at manoeuvring and running around in the forest. I'm quite fit. I thought, LARPing, how hard can it be, right? LARPing, what I found, it was a bit like paintball, but instead of being hit by painful paintballs, you get hit by painful swords, okay? Because the way we did it when we went LARPing was everyone had these polystyrene swords that were custom, well, not custom made, but specially made, so you can hit someone with it very hard and not do any serious damage, but you can cause them quite a bit of pain. Okay? Now, I was like dueling some of the people that I went with because they had like their own little legion of people, which was, I can't remember what they were called, but the banner was like it was like a black banner with a red fist on it, and I went in at like level 1, okay, like the lowest level, and I had to create my character and stuff beforehand and send it off, and they sent me back some like laminated cards.
Hang on, how can you, so that you're a level 1, how does that affect you having a sword fight with someone?
Ah,
I'm not sure how
okay.
that works.
The way it works is like this. If I'm a level 1, I can train a certain amount of skills. So, for example, I can have armor. Now, and I can train certain weapon skills, and they will allow me to carry
Right.
certain items. But you have to carry the equivalent item, and you have to actually carry it. So, for example, if I wanted to say I'm wearing plate mail, you have to wear plate mail. And if you wanted to wear plate mail,
It's
it
not
was
actually plate
goddamn
mail though, is it?
yes.
It's like cardboard.
No, in this case, it was replica plate mail. I'm not kidding,
Yes.
right?
No.
It was heavy as
So
all
it's metal.
kind of shit,
You're actually
jangly
wearing
shit.
metal.
There were people who had plate mail there, and they were mental. They looked like medieval knights. They looked like they come out of some sort of reenactment. I swear to God, they were slow, big, huge, clanking monsters of people, right? It was mad.
Do people have like potions? Do they have like health potions that
Hold
they
on.
carry around with them?
There's so much to tell you here. There's so much to tell you.
I mean,
I don't know where to begin. There's so much to tell you. This is so
this is
exciting.
amazing.
Right. Anyway, sorry. So, for example, okay. So
Wow.
let's just go with the example that I am a level 1 and I had ring mail
Okay,
trained.
what class were
Okay,
you?
so I had the basic armor ring mail, which meant I had to wear ring mail. And my
Okay,
friend had a set of ring mail, so I wore it. My God,
Of course you
this
did.
thing weighs about
Of course
20
you did.
kilos. I swear to Christ.
Here, Lewis, buy my
Yeah.
set of
He had
borrow
a set
my
of ring
set
mail. I
of
didn't
ring
buy it
mail.
off him. I just
instead.
borrowed it. It was really
What the
rusty.
fuck? Ring
Yeah.
mail.
It was like
Oh, you didn't look after it.
Anyway, this thing, right? So he gave it to me
Ring
in
mail.
like about 5 Marks and Spencer's plastic bags that were reinforced. Okay, so because obviously if you put it in one Marks and Spencer bag,
Reinforced
if you put it in
bags.
one plastic bag, if you put it,
You
listen,
should have
listen,
worn
if you put it
those
in one plastic
instead.
bag, the plastic bag wouldn't have supported it.
You should have
You had
worn.
to have it in several plastic bags.
You should have worn an outfit made of reinforced plastic bags for Marks and Spencer. Okay, so ring
So I wore
mail.
this set of ring mail, and oh my
Ring
god,
mail.
it was heavy as fuck, right? But it reduced all damage to me done by 2, okay? So if someone hit me, I took 2 less damage, right?
Right.
You had a certain amount of hit points. I had 4 hit points, okay? Not very much, obviously, I'm only level 1.
Oh my god.
And I've got 2 armor or something. I think it was 2. Maybe I only had 1, actually. I think I actually only had 1 armor. I think my ring mail only gave me 1. Anyway, I think you could get chainmail was 2 and plate was
Jesus.
like 3. Anyway, what you could do is you could also have a weapon skill which would allow you to carry a certain weapon. So you could have one-handed axe, two-handed axe, one-handed sword, two-handed sword, but whatever, katana, whatever.
What weapon did you have?
I
What
borrowed
did
my
you
friend's
have?
one-handed axe, okay,
Oh wow.
and that's all I had. I didn't have a shield. I just had one-handed axe, okay, and this axe was about the size of a spade.
Like a spade that you make sandcastles with.
No, like a
or-
garden spade that you dig up in the garden with. It came up to about my waist. Okay, so the handle was
Jesus.
about my waist.
Right.
So this was a one-handed axe, and it was quite
Wow. Wow.
light because it was obviously made of. What it's made of is it's like got a metal center, okay, and then it's got a coating of like polystyrene around it, but it's not really polystyrene. It's like toughened polystyrene, and it's all sort of painted and it looks quite realistic. And what you have to do is when you actually go to the place, you have to hand in your weapon, and they check that the metal bit isn't like jutting
Right.
out anywhere and won't do any damage to anyone if you hit someone with it bloody hard. Okay,
I mean, this
so they actually have to inspect your weapons before you go to the place.
they inspect your weapons.
And you also have to sign several insurance waivers and stuff. So it's like pretty serious
So-
stuff. It's like when you go to paintball, you know, you have to sign these forms before you go and play paintball.
I
It's
can
like that.
imagine this camp guy, this camp captain, just stood there in his plate mail, and he's got like a little clipboard and a pen, and he's going, "Oh, I'm here to check your weapons. Let's see that chopper of yours, Lewis." Except, what was your character name?
Xephos.
Oh,
So
for
everyone
fuck's
called me
sake.
Xephos for a week, which was pretty bad. Anyway, so I had one-handed axe and I did 1 damage with my axe, okay? So I could hit someone with my axe, and if I actually managed to hit them on their body somewhere with the axe, I would say 1 when I hit them, and that would mean it would be 1 damage to them, okay?
Right. The ring mail that you're wearing reduces damage by
No,
2.
I think it
so-
only reduced damage by 1. So I couldn't be damaged by shitty people.
So if somebody is wearing, if someone's wearing ring mail and you're hitting them for 1 damage, then it's reduced by 1. You're doing no damage.
Yeah,
to them.
precisely. There's no way they can hurt me. However, obviously there's different things. Like if you enchant your weapon, you can get it to like 2. To enchant your weapon, you have to like
What do they do to? What do they do to show that a weapon's enchanted?
They-
Do they like spray it with like green paint?
no.
or
What they do is they get like
Sweet.
a laminated card, which is like with a fluorescent yellow on it, and it gets glued to the sword.
Wow.
Yeah. So that shows that it's like
A laminated.
it's like
Wow.
a lammy. It's called a lammy.
A lammy.
Um,
That's terrible. Did you have to wear like tights and a codpiece?
no, I didn't. But I wore sort of dark jeans and a t-shirt, and then I put my armor on, my ring mail.
Jeans.
So every morning it was freezing again. This place, England's always freezing. Whenever you go camping, it's bloody freezing. So we woke up about 7. You know, you put your t-shirt on, you put your rusty ring mail on, which weighs an absolute ton.
Ready yourself for battle.
I
psyching
swear to
yourself
God,
up.
I had like totally bruised shoulders because just from wearing the ring mail around all day, it was that heavy. And when you actually go into combat with people, it's like the apocalypse has just dawned. And I remember this very vividly. There was like, Captain What's His Face with his plate mail, and all the top people all got together and banded together, and they like deciding to attack this fort that some other people were defending. All of us were like ducking around in the forest outside this fort, like saying, get ready, get ready. It was all like really tense, and we were gonna run in and we were gonna hack them all to pieces. That was the plan. So we ran at this fucking this wooden fortification, like the Alamo,
Jesus.
and they were all defending over the walls. Anyway, we broke into the fort and we like started having this there was kind of a line of us and a line of them. Okay, and we were just like hacking at each other in like just this weird sort of Braveheart style melee with two lines of us. And I got like thumped on the head and knocked on the ground, and other people were like getting punched in the face with stuff. Someone had like a bleeding nose, and then
Jesus Christ.
it was ridiculous. It was really like it was really scary.
It must be pretty scary actually, because people really get into it.
I was really scared because everyone was yelling, people were smashing each other with these things. It was astonishing. And then right in the middle of it, someone like yelled, "Stop! Stop! 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 Stop!" And like the two sides split apart, the two lines broke apart. And he goes, this guy like in the middle yelled, "I've dropped my glasses! I've dropped my glasses!" So the whole battle like stopped for a second, and this guy like fumbled around. "Oh, I've got him! I've got him! I've got him!"
And they just raced
And then
towards
they all
each
started
other.
again.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I remember that so clearly.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because that was the moment I just shook my head in disbelief.
Oh, that is amazing. Now that's a good story. That's probably the best story you've ever told. Oh man. That's it. It's all downhill from here. They eat like boar and stuff. It had an apple in its mouth, like roast boar.
It was. I really didn't come prepared because I didn't think it was going to be
They've got
quite
like a
as
massive turkey drumstick, and they're just like tearing at it with their
as it
teeth.
was. People brought like boil in a bag meals and cook them on fires and stuff. Whereas I didn't bring any of that shit with me. I brought like 2 packets of Pringles and 4 packets of Jammy Dodgers, and that's about it. I didn't realise that there wasn't going to be any fucking food in this whole place. There was going to be no. I thought it was going to be like going to paintball. Like you can stop after a while and go to McDonald's or whatever.
You're like a barbarian. You're a barbarian going into battle.
And all I had was like 4 packets of Jammy Dodgers and like some ready salted Pringles.
Some guy's got a roast boar strapped to his back. You've got like a little Tesco bag with
There's
Pringles.
That's all for this week. Tune in next time, and goodbye.